So just like equations, we are finishing with worded problems. Solving worded inequality problems is exactly the same as any worded problem. You just need to remember it's an inequality. Can someone remind me, what was the only time you switched the direction of the inequality? What did I have to do on both sides mathematically? Times or divide by a negative number. Well done. So, steps to solve worded inequality problems: decide what the variable represents, convert it to maths, solve using algebra, and like you just said, if you multiply, divide both sides by a negative, flip the inequality. And step 4, write your answer in sentence form. The example we'll do today: Kanye is driving 800 kilometers from Adelaide to Melbourne. He's going to take 2 days. He wants to go no further than 250 kilometers on day 2. How far must he go on day 1? So writing time to get the steps and the example down. We'll do that together. I'll give you time to do the 3 questions on the timeline, and then I need to check something from last year. You can talk, just no names. Don't be afraid to talk, just no names. Are you alright with just listening to and watching the notes? I don't need people to write everything down. But when you're writing your cheat sheet, you might regret it. Up to you. Does this question tell you or suggest what you should make x? What?
How far he must go there?
Yep, x is distance day 1. Now that you've experienced a number of worded problems, there should be what important information is there? Does anyone care that it's Kanye? No, that's not important. Doesn't matter that 800 kilometers was a total. Doesn't matter that it's going to take 2 days. Not really. That doesn't actually come into the maths here. What's the other number that's important in our calculation? Yeah?
He doesn't want to go further than 250.
Good. If I know that my distance day 1 is x, and I know that the total is 800, is there a way that I could write the distance travelled in day 2? Is it x minus 800, or is it the other way around? Good, because 800 is the total, yeah? So 800 minus x should be distance day 2. You want to minimize the amount of variables. You want to express the information in the question with just one variable, x, because your next topic that you start next week, we deal with x and y. When I was working this out this morning, I wrote it in words. Distance day 1 and day 2. Go no further. Which inequality fits with go no further? Greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to? I don't want to go any further than 250. Less than or equal to, because I'm cool with 249. I'm cool with 250. I'm not cool with 251 because that's greater than. Okay? So day 1, distance day 1, distance day 2 is less than or equal to, what's the limiting factor? What was the other number that was important? 250. Did we just define what day 1 and day 2 are above? Distance day 1 is x. Distance day 2 is 800 minus x. So if they're the total, it's got x plus 800 minus, oh no, that's not it. I should have practiced this more before. What do we know about the distance day 2? What is it not allowed to be more than? 250. So I was getting ahead of myself. 800 minus x is the distance travelled on day 2. Has to be less than or equal to 250. Are we in agreement with it? Okay. Normal solving steps. I've got positive 800 here. What's the opposite of that? Opposite of adding 800. Minusing 800. So if I minus 800 on both sides, what's 250 minus 800? Negative 550. Did I do anything at that point to require flipping the sign? Did I divide or times by a negative? No. Am I going to do that now? What number is in front of that x there? It's just not written. Negative 1. Okay, how do I get rid of that? That negative 1 is timesing, so dividing by negative 1 on both sides. But, should I just try to divide by a negative on both sides? Flip it, so that's going to cancel. X is going to be greater than or equal to a negative divided by a negative, positive. Kilometers. Does it make sense that if you travel more than 550 kilometers on the first day, that you're going to travel less than 250 on day 2? Okay? So hopefully you can see, like, that build-up is an illustration of why I've set your timeline like this. You practiced solving equation steps, doing the opposite operations on either side. We practiced that, did it with words. Then did we apply the same strategies with inequalities? With only one difference, if you times or divide by a negative number, you flip it instead. Can you get that example down, please? This is your work for today. But before I do my lecture down there, I want to ask about